Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Survival Seeds 2024 live stream for tonight. We are so glad that you guys could make it tonight, and it is great to see you. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. We are so glad that you guys could make it for today. And I'm going to bring up our special guest in a few minutes, but I'm going to go over a few things for anyone who's new here and talk about some updates first. So this collaboration started because of the simple question, what if we can't get seeds next year? And the collaboration is all about food security, seed survival, and self-sufficiency. If you followed us for a while, then you probably know that as a family, we grow over a ton of food on our homestead, and a lot of that is thanks to our family garden. And we rebuy our seeds every year from stores because we really cannot we can't harvest the seeds from our plants on our homestead because of the amount of variety we have in our garden. Because of pollination, we genuinely would have no idea what kind of plant we would get from the seeds that we harvest. Like, we could end up with a jalapeno mixed with a bell pepper, and we would have no idea what to do with that. So that is the main reason why we started this collaboration, which we picked 6 vegetables that we researched about their different facts about them and how they're helpful and why we chose those 6 seeds. And we intend to isolate those seeds, isolate those plants away from our other gardens, grow them, and save their seeds at the end of the year. And when we picked these seeds, we did not include thought into what we already have. We didn't think about including leafy greens because we grow those indoors. We also have a vineyard and an orchard, so we didn't need to worry about that, or the corn or our big family garden. We thought it would be a fun collaboration and a great opportunity to learn from friends. We were thinking it would be fun if like a dozen or so people joined the collaboration, and we would be able to learn from each other and learn different ways to grow these 6 seeds and save them for the next year. And then we shared the idea with some of our good friends, Bushcraft Family and Lazy Days Ahead, to be specific, and they liked the idea and actually joined. And Bushcraft Family came up with the partner collaboration about herbs and tinctures, and Lazy Days Ahead is running the giveaway, and we have over $12,000 worth of giveaways now, thanks to all of these amazing people and some great sponsors. And if you guys are interested in participating in the giveaways, you can post videos to the tag. You can make your entry videos, and you can join that way, and that'll count you to win some prizes. Or you can comment on the videos that already exist to get those prizes. Or you can also just attend during the live stream. And we thought that, and we actually now are going to be having live stream giveaways at the end of every month. But we'll talk more about that later when Lazy Days Ahead comes up towards the end of the live. Like I said, we thought it would be really cool if like a dozen or so people participated, but we just sent out over 60 seed packets to different people all over the place. And it may take a while for some of the seeds to get there. We know a lot of people don't have them yet, but if you could send us an email when you get your seeds, if you're participating, that would help us out a bunch so that we can check off who has their seeds and who doesn't, so that we can figure out who's are delayed and determine who has holdups. We have already started growing our onions, which I was going to show, but we ran out of time. We've started growing our onions and cold stratifying our peppers in the freezer. So our onions are already planted and they're started, and we have our pepper seeds in the freezer to stratify. And if you want to learn how to do that, you can check out the video that KK and Bunky made. It'll be linked in the description. And we've also started growing onions and peppers for our own garden. So on top of the seeds that we've started for the Survival Seeds collaboration, we also have the onions and the peppers started for our family garden. Of the 6 seeds, though, I think the one that I'm most excited to start growing is the kidney beans. We haven't started those seeds yet because when we plant beans, we've never planted kidney beans before. But when we plant beans, we plant them directly into the garden, into some old straw bales that we add dirt to. And with those beans, that's how we grow them every year. So we haven't started the kidney beans before, but for this collaboration, the kidney beans are going to be separated. Oh, we have the onions right here that we started. Oh, they're green. And the peppers are in here. And they were frozen. Thank you, Bucky. But I was talking about the beans. I'm excited to talk to someone today about growing beans in containers. We've never done that before, so I'm excited to talk to our special guest about that and learn what we can do with that, because we will be growing them in containers separated from our other gardens so that they don't cross-pollinate with our other beans. So really excited to talk about that with Miss Stephanie from Idaho Garden Girl. Hi, Miss Stephanie.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. We've been friends with Miss Stephanie for 1 or 2 years now. And I know we see you a lot at Garden State Gardener, and we see you comment on Die Bullfrog sometimes. And you've been a pretty big supporter of our music. So just wanted to thank you for that.
Well, I enjoy your music. Thank you.
And we love seeing you there.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to say hi to some of the people in the chat now, and then KK is going to come in here and talk to you about beans.
Sure.
Ram's Family Farm, it's good to see you. Happy Sunday. R&W Farmstead, it's great to see you. And Mr. Jesse and Miss Lisa's here, the one and only. Miss Suzanne, it's great to see you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Mr. Scott. I take it you're watching the football game right now. Mom put it on the TV. So, Hugo Homestead, it's great to see you. And Suburban Hillbilly. So we saw that you put up your entry video, Miss Stephanie. I was watching it earlier today. That was a really good video.
Thank you.
Yeah. Suburban Hillbilly, it's good to see you. Milk and Honey Heritage, happy Sunday, and Carson 1954. And I think that's everyone. So I'm going to let KK come in now and talk to you about beans.
Awesome.
Hello, Miss Stephanie. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you, KK?
Not bad, thank you. So for the beans, how long have you been growing beans in containers?
Actually, I started growing beans in containers about 4 years ago. Well, maybe 5 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
And
started. Oh, go ahead. I started growing them in the green stock stacking planter.
that looks really cool. And for those in the chat who don't know what that is, how would you describe that?
I would describe it as a 5-tiered stacking planter where each tier has 6 small pockets, so to speak, and you can plant in each one, and then you have another tier and another tier and another tier. You start watering from the top, and the water drips down through all the different layers or tiers. And you can grow quite a few different crops in them. I've been very pleased and surprised.
And so you would pick that over different planters for your beans?
Oh, not necessarily. I think they would do just fine in a regular planter. I was just experimenting with the green stock because it has such a small footprint. It's like what, 3 feet by 3 feet,
Right.
and you can get so much planted vertically in those, and so that's why I decided, because I ran out of room in my raised beds to plant beans, and so that was where I was like, oh well, I can plant like an entire row of beans in this green stock.
Right. And I'm sure that works out a lot better. So if that's where you're planting them, when do you usually plant them or get started on
I
beans?
usually plant them. Yeah, I usually plant them in June when the weather gets warm.
And do you direct sow them? Sorry.
Well, sometimes I do, but I don't have very good luck with that. What I usually do is I germinate them in a Ziploc bag with a damp paper towel, and then once the roots are growing, maybe a tiny bit of a root, then I transplant that into the soil of the pot, because everything, it seems like everything I direct sow gets attacked by insects and birds, and
Right.
I'll have everything planted, and then stuff just barely starts coming up, and I go out and I look, and they're all gone. They're just decimated. So I was like, well, forget that.
Right. That's more or
Yeah.
less what we do too. Bunky plants them in a coffee filter, and then she waits for the first leaves, the cotyledons, to come out, and then she plants in some dirt in a straw bale, and that's how we've been doing it the past few years.
Right.
Compared to other beans, do you enjoy growing kidney beans, or is that a little more difficult than other kinds?
You know what? I've never grown kidney beans before. I've grown different kinds of string beans, and I've grown like what is it called? Like the, oh gosh, orca bean, and some of the other dried beans. I'm kind of really getting interested in that, because as Trey was saying in the beginning about saving seeds, and also thinking about the protein that's needed for us to eat, and beans are an excellent source of protein. So I began thinking about growing more dried beans, and I have ordered quite a few different varieties to try out here in my location.
That's awesome. The thing about kidney beans that stood out to us was that, and she's right, it's a plant that's very high in protein, and so one of the names for it actually became the poor man's meat, because it takes the place of that protein you need in like a meatless dish. So that's one of the
Right.
reasons I picked it. And just like for using kidney beans, do you use that in any dishes?
I do. Yes, I do. I make chili and I make soup, and I use kidney beans in both of those different dishes. And once they're cooked, you can actually like mash them and make sort of almost a refried bean out of them.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Really delicious.
We played around with canning it one time, and I don't remember if it worked or not. I mean, I know it worked. I don't remember if we liked the result or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can can kidney beans.
Yeah. And I know you can store them dry, but you have to be careful when you cook them because they end up being kind of like, I don't want to say toxic, because I mean it is toxic, but it's not gonna like hurt you that much. But if you don't cook it well enough, it can lead to food poisoning. So
Right. You have to cook. You shouldn't eat raw beans.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
As far as indoor planting goes, how long have you been doing that?
You mean starting my seeds indoors?
Yes.
Oh, I would say probably 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
I didn't used to have a light. I didn't used to have a light or a heat mat, and I would just put the little, a little tray of the cells, seed starter cells. I would put them up in the windowsill, and I would plant tomatoes and peppers and put them in there and just wait. And eventually they would come up. But so then I decided to get a light, and I used a shop light. My first experiment was with a shop light, and I could see the big difference that it made. They came up much faster and more consistently. And then I went and got a heat mat, and that made things go even better.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who is starting a container garden? What's one of the most important things you do as far as containers go?
I think it would be to start out with a good soil, a good commercial potting mix, because it's not, excuse me, it's not garden soil. I mean, you have to have good garden soil as well, but it's being in a pot. You really have to make sure that you have a good mix, a good potting mix,
Right.
so that your plants can be successful.
Yeah, that is definitely important. And I know our mom and Bunky started sterilizing the soil they use, because sometimes we end up with extra bags and we try to use it the next year and they have bugs in them anyway. So what she did is she put it in a plastic bin and she put hot water on it. And so she did that yesterday, and I think she planted with it too.
Well, that's probably a good idea. My first experience at sterilizing soil was I put it in a giant roasting pan and put it in my oven in the house.
Oh, no. Did it work?
My gosh. It did, but it smelled really bad in the house.
It had to be awful.
Because it's like baking dirt,
Right. What size containers do you find yourself using a lot?
I use the ones that are like half barrel, half whiskey barrel size, and then I use the green stalks, and then I do use some that are only about 10 inches. But the only thing I grow in those are like the micro dwarf tomatoes, and some herbs, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a question and I lost it. And with those containers, do you reuse them or do you not do that?
No, I reuse containers all the time.
Nice.
All the time. I usually amend the soil. Like once the crop is done, I make a note, how empty the container is, how much dirt seems to have disappeared.
Right.
And then I add some to it, or sometimes I just take the entire container and go dump it in the raised beds, because the raised beds also settle down and seem to lose soil. So I usually take those and dump that dirt in there, or I just amend it with some new soil.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kidney beans. I know you said you're growing them for the first time, I think, this year.
Yes. Yeah.
They're actually a bean that you can grow as a bush or as a pole plant. So what do you think you would be more interested in growing with them?
I think probably bush. Bush is easier for me. I am going to grow some beans this year that are pole beans, but usually I go for the bush beans because we have we have high winds occasionally here.
Right.
And so the high winds come and they just blow everything over, including tomato cages and everything else. So I try to make sure I have everything fastened down pretty good. And I guess I'm kind of afraid that a pole bean would be kind of susceptible. Yeah,
right.
susceptible to snapping and blowing over.
Right.
But luckily, I think the ones you sent me are kind of a bush variety that sometimes gets a few vines on it. I think that's what it said on the package.
Yep.
Or yeah, I was just refamiliarizing myself with everything that you guys sent me. So yeah, it says bushy plants are well adapted to northern climates. So there you go. That's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can train it to do poles. And
Right.
we kind of do something a little in between there because we use a trellis system. But for containers, I wasn't really sure what we were going to do for that either.
Well, I've been thinking now the green stock, it actually, you can buy the accessory that is like a support that these little things hook on and create a system around the green stalk so that plants can lean over onto it. And so I was going to do that, use those. But I was thinking as far as like planting in the half barrels, I was thinking just using some tomato cages tipped upside down.
Right.
So that would be kind of like a teepee. But the holes on the side of the tomato cage are big enough that you can get your hand in there and pick the beans. Whereas if you use a wire cage of a smaller gauge wire, or I mean a smaller, smaller openings on the wire, it's going to be hard to reach in there and pick. So I thought about using an upside down tomato cage.
That's a clever idea. I really like that idea.
Oh, well, that's what I came up with.
It's good.
Thank you.
And turning to the chat for a second, if any of you guys have any questions about container gardening or beans or anything else for Idaho Garden Girl, just put it in the chat and I'll do my best to find it. Putting it in caps would help. And out of the 6 seeds, what do you think is the favorite that you have so far that you're going to plant?
Well, I'm going to plant all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm usually really good at growing peppers. So I'm going to grow those, and I'm probably going to start those in the next couple of days.
Oh, nice.
Also the Walla Walla onion, I'm going to start those right away. I'm also going to start the Mariana tomato right away. And then I have to wait because we're still getting snow here. So the beets, I will wait a little while before I plant those. Although I usually start those in little cell packs, like three seeds per cell. But the butternut squash and the kidney bean, those are both, I'm going to have to wait until around June to start those, I think.
Right.
I might start them a week or two earlier indoors, especially the squash. I might start them like next to last week in May, and then transplant them out.
This sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, thank you.
And for peppers, how do you usually start those?
I usually just start them in little cell packs.
And
In a
or
Pardon
just
me?
you just put the seed in the direct pack or in the cell pack?
Right. I use that. I use the Jiffy seed starting mix, and
Oh,
I put that in the little cells, and then I put the little cell trays in a 10-20 tray with a clear plastic dome,
mhm.
and then I just make a hole about a quarter of an inch deep, and I put a seed in there and lightly cover it. I water it, usually with a uh, misting spray on top, and then I put the little plastic dome on. I put it on a heating pad, and then I put the light on it. And I put the light down very low so it's very close to the surface of the soil.
Right. And I'm seeing some comments in the chat about having trouble with peppers. Have you noticed anything like that? Like,
I find that you have to make sure that you keep them warm, not too wet. I mean, they have to have moist soil to germinate, but you can't let them get too soggy because then the seeds will rot. Some of the pepper seeds take up to 30 days to germinate. And so don't give up. Don't give up. I
right.
remember like, I don't know, 6 years ago, something like that. I had all of these pepper seeds planted and they weren't coming up, and I didn't keep very good record. I had a date written on the little tag, but I was like, what's wrong with these peppers? I guess those seeds were no good, or I did something wrong, right?
Right.
So I took when they didn't germinate, I took them all and set them outside and said to myself, well, I'll have to empty the soil out of those later and, clean that mess up.
Right.
And then like 2 weeks later, these things were sitting over in a pile up against the uh, wall, and the sun beats down on that wall. It was a south facing wall, so it was getting a ton of light and a ton of heat. And like 2 weeks later, I went out there and I looked, and they were coming up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So, so don't give up. They can still come up, but they do like heat, and they do like light.
Right. In our experience, we just freeze them.
Oh,
And it's kind of backwards.
I've never done that. How does
Um,
that work?
yeah, we looked into it, and it's called stratification. And we just take the
Okay.
seeds, we wet them, and then we put it in a ball jar with a coffee filter inside. And then you just freeze it for like a week and a half. And then you just let it thaw out for a week and a half. And then you plant it, and then for us, it germinates pretty quickly.
Oh,
Um,
that's amazing.
the reason our dad and Bunky started doing that was because he can remember his grandpa, and he always just took the whole pepper and put it in the freezer.
Oh, wow.
And that just tended to speed up the germination process by a lot.
Wow, that's very interesting. I'll
And
remember that.
yeah, I think we did do a video on that recently. I forgot what I was going to add to that, but it was interesting to me that you were saying that like watch their water and their heat content, because we pretty much did the opposite. And it's interesting
Oh,
both ways.
right.
We have Bushcraft family in the background.
Hey,
Sorry
Hello.
Bushcraft family.
Hello.
But hello, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
And I'm gonna look back in the chat while we're at a stopping point. Hey, you can come back in now.
I don't think I'm seeing anything else.
There's a dancing troll over there in Bushcraft Family's bunker.
It,
Oh, wow.
it's my garden gnome. He's getting ready
Oh,
for garden season.
That's awesome.
Hi, Mr.
very
Charles.
cute.
Hello.
Did you
Yeah, the cat doesn't like him, so the cat's under the bunk beds there.
Oh,
No, I didn't. I think it's just on the iPad.
Well, we got actually a lot of entry videos this week, including Miss Stephanie's. I think we had 5 total new entry videos this week. So I took screenshots, but we did get them imported. We had Miss Stephanie's, Bull Garden, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, Garden State So and So, and Simply Jim.
nice.
All 5 of them had really, really cool videos. Miss Stephanie, you could really tell that you knew all of this information you were talking about from each of the seeds, just off the top of your head. And watching your videos, it's really clear that you know a lot about gardening, just naturally.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, I'm just going to talk about all 5 of the videos that I watched. Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, just watching her video, she was very enthusiastic about the collaboration, and just watching her made me want to join the collaboration when I'm already in it. And then the Bull's Garden was
Hilarious.
It was hilarious. He was having trouble with Uncle Pappy again,
And those of you who don't know,
Uncle Pappy is his partner, pretty much. His other half.
I was gonna say alter ego.
Pretty much. And he actually has this really cool thing in his video that I saw. He has this screen that he uses to he puts his compost on it and then he shakes it, and then all that comes out into the wheelbarrow is just good dirt, which was really cool. I thought that was genius. And then Garden State So and So has already started her seeds.
Oh,
which
nice.
was really, she put the video up and she's already started all 6 of the seeds, which was really cool. And then,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I thought was...
That's impressive.
Yeah. And then Miss Jan has heating mats this year, which she's really excited about. And heating mats, you guys were talking about, those can be really, really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Very helpful.
Especially tomatoes and peppers.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's all 5 of the videos.
And all of those, I think, are entry videos, right?
Yes, all 5 were entry
And
videos.
are in the playlist.
Yep.
And Dad brings up a good point. Be sure to comment on all of these amazing entry videos in the playlist for chances to win in Lazy Days
Ahead giveaway.
I keep doing that. I'm sorry.
So, how are you guys doing?
How are you doing, Jesse and Lisa?
We're doing absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
We're in Oregon right now and enjoying our time with
My mom.
her mom, and my mother-in-law.
Awesome.
I was just looking, and my gnome kind of resembles Jesse over here.
We were just pointing that out. Look at this guy.
One that looks just almost exactly
I have
like that one.
I have a little statue gnome looks just like that guy. That was sent to me by somebody over in the UK. You probably know him, Paul Honeyman.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're doing good. I was just cleaning up some of my mom's where the pond. She has a pond in the backyard, and so some of the overgrowth and stuff like that. So
Is your mom feeling better?
she is getting better slowly but surely. She is. She's
Yeah.
moving around more today.
That's great.
So yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for the prayers
That's good.
on your Sunday morning live. So we had to take her back to the doctor for a second time, and then this time they gave her the medicine that she needed.
Well, that's
So,
working.
it's
Actually,
working,
the first
yeah.
one didn't, wasn't working.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah,
That's great.
he's getting better.
But I did want to mention you were talking about to Stephanie, that idea of turning the tomato cage upside down. I mean,
Mhm.
my mind was blown. Why haven't we done that before? And it would be easier to tie wrap it to the
Right,
bucket,
that is the coolest.
and then
Right.
the tomatoes would go crazy. Who'd have thought
Right.
that? I was telling Lisa, why didn't we think of that? Everybody tries to stick the little prods into the ground, and they end up leaning left or leaning right, or
Right.
Right.
just turn it upside down. Duh. Jeez Louise.
That
But
was
that's
a really
what's
cool idea.
good about this collaboration. You're picking up ideas from other folks,
Yes.
learning new technique, learning
Different
how somebody else
techniques,
does something.
yeah.
Like
Right.
she was talking about the tier garden, the what's it called, green stalk,
Right.
and it's just it's amazing.
It's great to just
Well-
learn off of each other like that.
It really is.
Well, I thought about putting the tomato cage upside down because when you grow pole beans, it says that you can grow them up one pole per plant, or you can make a teepee
Right?
of poles. And I was like, well, the tomato cage upside down looks like a teepee.
It does.
Why don't I try that?
Right?
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's usually got 4 legs
Four-
basically, and
four,
so you
yeah.
one plant per each leg, or
4 tiers. Yeah.
So
It was
it's
genius.
just an idea.
We're going
Yeah.
to steal that idea. We hope to do videos with it.
Good.
So thinking
Yeah.
outside the box. That's
So
right,
it's
Pat.
like that.
I'm scrolling back in the chat a bit.
So
My husband made me a compost sifter many years ago. It's still in good shape, just a wood square with handles and hardware cloth, and that's pretty much
Yeah,
what you were
that's pretty
talking
much
about.
it. Yeah.
And that's actually really clever. I don't know that much about composting. That's usually not my department, but it is interesting, like the way you can filter everything else out.
right. Then you just have clean dirt.
Right.
Yeah, usually if my compost is really got a lot of stuff in it, like thick stuff, I'll put it on the bottom of my buckets, and then I'll put the better stuff on top.
Oh, sweet.
That way, all that down below will break down, and next year I can recirculate it, and that stuff will be good for the next year.
That's awesome.
So when in your compost, do you have any trouble? Like we have fire ants down in Texas, and they get in everything.
They love to build.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to even do like a compost because that one reason.
And you don't want to kill them with any kind of insecticide or anything, because then you ruin the compost. But
Yeah,
yeah, fire ants are really bad in Texas.
maybe vinegar.
We've used that. We've used
Okay.
vinegar, but in general, I mean, you're going to get some animal or pest that's going to want to reside in that compost, right? Some of
Yeah.
we had chickens. There probably wouldn't be no ants because the chickens would be pecking at the ants every single day.
Right.
But if we don't have chickens or any kind of ground animal like that, then we run the risk of some kind of pest or snail or something growing in the compost.
Maybe consider
Well,
building. Oh, go ahead.
If you have a place where you can put an indoor vermicomposting item, you could do vermicomposting like in your garage or someplace like that. That's what. Now I know I have different weather than you do, Jesse and Lisa, but I have a vermicomposter that I keep in my garage, and I just take the kitchen cut scraps, the
Mhm.
kitchen cuttings from the onions and whatever, fruit, apple cores, banana peels, avocado peels. I put those in the vermicomposter, and the little worms just eat all of that, and it makes compost. It makes worm castings, which is
Okay.
Right.
a really good, expensive form of compost.
Hmm.
Be Charming had a good idea about using ground cinnamon. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
That looks like a cool idea.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could work really well. We've
But
tried
the-
using boiling water, but usually you have to apply that a few times.
Yeah.
No, because you just get the
Water
ones
doesn't work for fire ants.
Now, Stephanie, is there any kind of smell that you have to deal with if you do it indoors in the garage?
Nope, it doesn't smell bad. The vermicomposter that I have is called, can't remember what it's called, but it's a big green bin that is shaped like a funnel. It goes down to a smaller diameter, like a funnel, and we put peat moss or cocoa core in the bottom, about this deep, and then you start adding shredded newspaper, and then you put scraps in, and then you put shredded newspaper, then you put scraps in, and then you put like some cardboard, like corrugated cardboard on top, or you can just shred corrugated cardboard up, just tear it into little pieces, dump that in there. They love that stuff. They like to get, it's so weird. The worms like to go in those little openings on the end of the corrugated cardboard. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
yeah, it works. It works great. And then the compost, they recycle the cocoa core and the peat moss, and then what comes out the bottom is like pure worm castings.
Okay.
And that's perfect for gardens.
Yeah.
Right.
It is. You could make worm casting tea. It actually produces the worm casting tea. The moisture from the worms, it's like a leachate, and it drips down, and you can collect that and mix it with water, and use that for fertilizer as well.
Wow.
Yeah, we've
So
tried
we
to
have-
bring things.
I'm
I
sorry.
should do a video.
You
Right.
should, yes.
You should.
So we add a little sugar. Would that be Texas sweet tea?
I don't think you want that. I think that might ferment.
Right.
And yes.
Make you sick.
Hi, Wildlife. Happy Sunday.
And everyone else in the chat, I know I haven't done a great job of keeping track of who's coming in and who's not, of who's coming in and saying hi to them. But hello to everyone there, we really appreciate having you in here.
And I hope to get on top of getting seeds out and everything this week. Last week and the week before, I've been away from the house quite a bit with family stuff.
Right.
Hopefully this week I get a break.
It's going to be a fun collaboration.
Right. There's a lot of talk about it now. I mean, people are talking about it. They're talking about it on their lives.
Mhm.
The playlist. I've been watching the videos and commenting and stuff because I want to win. I don't know about you guys, but I want to win. No, I'm just joking. You know what? There's going to be a good giveaway at the end in October. We're talking $1,200 right now. Over $1,200 worth of sponsored gifts. Now, I don't know about you guys, but
Wow.
who doesn't want something? Maybe we get a green stalker. I do know we have Amelia's donating a bench, maybe even 2 garden benches. Miss Ann's working with those folks on getting us that.
Wow.
We got things like, I got this right here for the urban gardener. This is a seed pack. It's
wow.
Well,
a
that's
kit.
cool.
These are gifts that we're going to be giving out on the monthly gifts, and with all the instructions for each seed, planting time,
When to plant them.
when to plant, temperature, and then all the seeds that come with the pack. It's a 10 pack, but it's just perfect for the urban gardener. For those who have to raise in a small area, these are some excellent plants.
That's
This
awesome.
is just one idea of what we're going to be giving away on the monthly giveaways. So, and it's made by So True Seed. They are based
I like that.
they're
company.
based in North Carolina. And then what I like about it is it's open pollinated, non-GMO, and untreated seeds. So you don't have to
Right.
worry about them going through some kind of process with, some kind of contaminants or GMO, mainly the GMO stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's what's good about these seeds right here. So I'm looking forward to seeing somebody win that pack, and that's going to be it. And this is a $30 value. So, but that's not what I paid for. No, that's exactly right. But yeah, so there's going to be some monthly giveaways. Every month we're going to give away 3 gifts. One for the collaborators, for example, like Stephanie, for the collaborators, and then another gift for those who watch the videos and comment. There'll be a comment picker giveaway, and then for the ones that attend the
chat,
monthly
yeah.
the monthly videos, like what we're doing now, we're going to be giving away something to somebody in the chat. I don't know. It could be a brand new car. It could be a box of seeds. Yeah, I don't know, but it's going to be good.
If it's a brand new car, it's going to be a little.
It'd probably be like
yeah.
a 1/18
It's a
scale.
Hot Wheel.
I didn't say you could drive it.
That's awesome.
It could be a John Deere tractor.
Itty bitty.
Hot Wheels are easier to drive than normal cars.
That is fair.
Right.
Matchbox cars, right?
Yep.
Or Hot Wheels.
Yeah, Matchbox or Hot Wheels.
And some of them Hot Wheels are worth money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you never know.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll
so it's going to be a lot of fun. Yes.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
And so that'll be at the end of every month. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I think that's gonna be in 2 weeks.
Yes. The
Last
last Sunday of
month.
every month on the Vineyard Chicks channel, we'll be popping in, getting ready to give stuff away.
And then in October, I think on your channel, right?
On October, we can do it on our channel, yes, or your channel. It doesn't really matter. Well, in fact, I think we ought to co-stream because I use StreamYard. We can co-stream on that one, and then we'll just make it a big. I mean,
A big celebration.
right.
Yeah.
And everybody brings their garden hoe. We'll have a hoe down.
Hey.
No, but yeah, it's gonna be colossal. It's gonna be awesome. It'll be the biggest giveaway that I've ever been a part of. But I know you said y'all were only starting or hoping to have maybe 10 or 20 collaborators.
This is so much bigger than we could have imagined.
Yeah, I only thought I was going to get 5 or 10, and I'm well over 20 now.
Okay, so with Bushcraft 20 and then you're 60, that's already 80. So 80
There's a lot of people who get to learn.
people have wanted to participate. Now, it's really not, they're not participating until they actually do the video, but you know what I mean? Everybody's, and I think there's quite a few folks that haven't got their seeds yet. Like we haven't got ours yet.
Well, because we're not at home.
You're not home. And
No.
there are a few, I think, that have gotten lost in the mail. So we are trying to figure that out too.
Right. And so I've been advertising as well. So if you are part of this collaboration or have requested seeds, if you receive your seeds, please send an email to Bushcraft, Vineyard Chicks, or us, and let us know that you received those seeds so they can account for them and know that they don't have to send more out. So
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
that would be awesome.
Well,
Oh yeah, today's Super Bowl day. I forgot.
yeah, are any of you guys intending to watch the football?
Yeah, I'm hoping Dallas wins.
It's on right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's on right now. It started at 3. Well,
Oh, Dallas is not
3
playing.
our time.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Somebody's phone.
my team didn't make it either. I was kind of rooting for Kansas City to beat 49ers because 49ers beat my Lions. But I kind of want the 49ers to beat Kansas City. That way I don't have to hear about Taylor Swift anymore.
Well, you know, I'm hoping the 49ers win myself because I want that new quarterback Purdy to have his first win as a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
And be good because I know that if Kansas City wins, not that I don't want them to win, but if he wins, I think that'll give the quarterback Mahomes. He'll
Yeah.
have a bigger mind, and I already got a big head. But so no,
Yeah, but I think he's already got a big head.
yeah, I think the 49ers are favored to win. I think.
Oh
Last
yeah.
paper I saw the 49ers were 57% to Kansas City's 43, something like that.
Oh, that's not good.
So
We're frozen. Can you guys see us?
Or at least hear us.
Yeah, we see you and hear you, but you're frozen.
Yeah, their picture's frozen.
that's okay. It was a good picture that froze.
Yeah, that's
I think
Yeah,
you
looking
could have been stopped. Like you could have.
if my screen ever unfreezes, I'm going to turn off the camera and see if that helps.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But Joe Serrano says hello from Mexico.
Yeah, we were about
Hello,
to say hi,
Mr.
like,
Joe.
oh, it's hi, Mr.
Yep.
Joe.
yeah, most time if mine freezes, it looks like I've just been electrocuted or something.
Right?
And Trey, earlier when you first started the live, you talked about planting peppers and jalapenos next to each other and they may cross pollinate. I think a pepperpino would be an awesome.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
It
does.
happens. It happens. I had sweet peppers and my jalapenos were a good distance away. And I had one sweet pepper that brought a tear to my eye.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, I haven't tried them yet, but I heard there's a jalapeno out there that doesn't have any heat called a notapeno.
Yeah.
And I'd love to find some of those.
I have some.
Oh, you have some seeds?
I have some seeds.
Oh, I can't wait to try them.
At
Jalapeno,
home.
and it's supposed to be the jalapeno that has no heat because we love the flavor. And if you think about it, a jalapeno jam or jelly, and you don't want, but you like the flavor of jalapeno, like nachos or whatever, but you don't want the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So
Yeah, and then I wouldn't have to cut out all the veins and the seeds.
right.
Just pop them in there and go. Because
oh my God, that was a great commercial.
I got a lot of people in my family that don't like the heat, so
Yeah.
I have to half of them when I make the cowboy candy. I have to devein half of them and take the seeds out of half of them, and then. So
Now, when you make your cowboy candy, do you use fresh jalapenos or do you use the pickled?
oh no, fresh.
Okay, we when we make ours, we use the pickled. We get the huge jar of pickled jalapenos from Costco, and that's what we make ours with. So, hey, they're back, or they're trying to come back.
Yeah, if I grow enough, then I do a batch of cowboy candy that way.
Right. And somebody in the chat said
I do it with I make it into relish instead of the slices.
Right.
Because it's really good. The best thing I do with it is instead of normally making a grilled cheese, I'll spread it in between where the cheese is. I'll spread some on there and then make the grilled cheese like that. Best grilled cheese you'll ever have.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
Yep.
Wow.
I went through so many jars just making grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Sorry about that. We had an internet issue again and had to reload and switch Wi-Fi.
Oh, y'all did that pretty quick. But somebody in the chat earlier said they couldn't grow peppers indoors. I guess hydroponically they couldn't do it. Well, Lisa has done it. Not that many, but she has done jalapenos indoors, and they came out really beautiful. I mean, they were small.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't like those big Texas size ones, but they were small, but they were still good jalapenos.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
we do all ours hydroponically because in Texas it's really hot. So
I've grown them indoors in a hydroponic system.
yep.
They work great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they like the heat.
Yeah,
You
the
can get a
only thing
warm window somewhere that they'll grow real good.
We could just figure out how to grow potatoes hydroponically. That'd be awesome.
I don't know how that would work.
I know.
It's like growing carrots hydroponically.
I've seen sweet potatoes done like that. So
How do you do that?
it's possible, I guess.
Now I did start some carrots hydroponically, and then I transferred them over into some dirt.
Because then they
And
got
Yeah, but I kept those inside also under the grow lights.
Yes.
I mean, they were short, stumpy carrots, but there's only about four or five of them. They still worked.
Yeah.
Bushcraft family has a question.
He's getting ready for the garden season. That's my garden gnome.
He's hyping himself up.
Yeah,
What,
he's expecting sunshine.
Time to grow. Time to grow.
oh, I think this is pepper. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what this is. Green screen's awful. But
It seems like anytime you want to show somebody something, it's green.
Always. It's the book, the plant. It's always green.
I'll show a book and like, oh, never mind. It's green.
Well, you're not gonna read that. Okay.
So have you had any more requests for seeds, KK? In the last, I don't know, 24, 48 hours?
You should.
I think we do.
I think we actually may have.
I think we do. I'd have to double check.
I think we got a couple.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. It'd
It'd
be good to know, if you, between now and October, if you kind of keep a track of how many requests we get each week, that'd be something to report.
Yeah, you're going to go back and do that statistic. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think next time I'll make an online form so they can just fill out the stuff.
Right.
It'll be there.
Right.
It'll be a lot easier than people emailing and stuff too.
Right. Yeah. I think I did try using a Google form for something, and it ended up being very unnecessarily extra. Because then,
you can
confirmation and
you gotta start with the basic one.
Yeah.
And then work your way up, because there's some that has drop downs and radio buttons and all kinds of stuff that you don't need.
You do it and you put it in Google Docs and just make it available to everyone.
Yeah.
You'll put that link in your, let's say, your description. They click on that link, they fill it out, and it goes to you,
Right. But then you have to worry about what if someone deletes everything?
No.
Well, no, it's a template. It'll be a template. So it's not like you're going to.
It's not that they can edit it only for.
They'll only edit it for themselves.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Grape Jams, she said they have 62 now.
62. Wow.
All have been sent out. Yeah.
And you can get real fancy to where whenever they fill out the form, it'll get submitted to another document that keeps track of their addresses and all that stuff to where.
And you do not have to have a Google Gmail in order to do this. Because, for example, I have a Google Doc out there now that we're using for the 10 Killer meetup. And Christine, who has a Yahoo account, can log in, make her edits, and then, get back out. So you don't have to be a Google account holder to get into it.
We were talking about
this guy that you unfortunately don't get to see at all.
Oh, coffee.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about coffee. There's a plant growing in there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about some coffee. Yeah, I'll take a cup.
No, this is a chocolate pepper from Jen Johnson Richards, and that's kind of what that's one of the peppers that we've started right now. And then we have this book, which is not green. Seed to Seed by Suzanne Ashworth. And this is about seed saving. So this is actually a really great resource for one of the points on the in the collaboration. I don't know, that's kind of random, but I was running out of talking topics. It's a really good resource if you're looking for ways to save seeds.
What's it called again? Trey?
Seed to seed.
Seed to
Seed
seed.
to seed.
It's an awesome book because it tells you how to save all of these different kinds of seeds.
It's the coolest.
It is a great book.
That's what I liked about that company where I got my seeds from. On the back of every one of them, it shows you how to save the seeds
Oh wow.
after you harvesting them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Sea Mountain Man, the book is Seed to Seed.
By Suzanne.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you.
Oh wow, thank you.
And I'm still talking to them about sponsoring too.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really hard to actually
Right.
talk to.
I imagine.
So it is 7:02. So we're a little bit over our time, and we're probably going to wrap up. So
thank you guys so much for coming. It was great to talk to you, Miss Stephanie, and Mr. Charles, and Mr. Jesse, and Miss Lisa. It was great having you guys up here.
We enjoyed it.
Yep.
Like always.
Yes.
Give moms and pops a hug for us if you don't mind.
I don't think I muted her.
Oh, she's.
And
What did
Bunky.
you say?
And Bunky.
I said, thank you so much for inviting me.
It was great to have you on here. You were definitely very knowledgeable in gardening, and so we learned a lot from this.
And everyone in the chat, thank you guys for being here. Suburban Hillbilly, Wildlife, Milk and Honey, Food Forest Permaculture. You guys are great. Thank you guys for participating and watching, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great to see everybody here and just talk some more about the collaboration, and we hope we'll be able to see you here next week.
Nice meeting you, Steph.
Nice to see you.